Hey everyone, I'm Kronos, and this is my speedrun of Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode Glitchless, done in 44 minutes and 16 seconds. The commentary that you're hearing right now is done after the run was completed, and I'll be providing my thoughts to show what I'm thinking about during the run, to give some insight as to what speedrunners might think about during their runs. I did this run last week at SGDQ 2024 in the practice room, an hour before my run was done live on stage. So if you want to check out the GDQ run, you can click here. So now I'm going through character creation, so I'm trying to replicate basically everything that I would do on stage, so human character for the nature buff, and then enhanced sleep featherfall, like usual, all the cantrips. But for the abilities, I'm going to just choose charisma instead of intelligence here. Charisma is for the better shopping prices in Act 2, so it does help for that, but generally for speed, charisma is just a lot better. So we're going to be sacrificing consistency here for speed, and that's what we want to do for speedruns, especially if we're trying to get a PB here. So immediately you can see me unlock the toolbar. Basically, it's used to do some animation canceling as I cast spells. So it's a relatively minor glitch that people say is like kind of glitchy. I didn't do it really during the GDQ run, so yeah, but in the rule set for the community, this is allowed, so that's what we did. So here, this is the first major fight of the run. We're going to grab the speed potion there, which is very nice. Generally, we want to get 2 speed potions, and they're completely random drops. So getting one here, which is the earliest you can get one, is super nice. Unfortunately, I have to waste an extra few seconds here because I lost a turn from missing like 2 95% hits, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, normally it would be a reset for most runners, but I didn't have too much time on my hands here. Again, this was done literally an hour before my run was done live on stage, so I had to kind of take what I got. From here, I grabbed Enhanced Sleep with 2 casts of dash and went through. This is for the triple dash setup. You don't need to do this if you want to be like quote-unquote true glitchless, but it does save like around 30 seconds to a minute because we don't have to wait for an entire round of enemy combat. Just stop before we hit that cutscene so none of the extra enemies spawn in, and just wait there, and you won't be able to like get killed like 90% of the time. So it's like whatever. Some people complain about that, but honestly, it just makes the run faster and is not a big difference in general. But that's the rule set that was decided from the community, so that's how it is. So from here, we're just using Enhanced Sleep to jump further on. It's not too much going on here. I'm trying to optimize my jump pathing here, but I'm not too good at it. You can see my characters sometimes move and like running into the place before they can jump, and that generally is a time loss. If you watch runners like Bisk and May who work on a ton of optimization, they're a lot better than me at optimizing that sort of movement compared to myself. So you'll notice that I grabbed the second speed potion, and that's all I need, so I'm just making my way forwards. At the GDQ run, you would have seen that I didn't get that sort of potion RNG, so I had to go for the safety strat, which is also slightly a dice roll, but because of specking specifically for intelligence, we didn't really have to worry too much about it. So here, we grab the amulet. That amulet has guidance and is very important for just buffing our characters for additional chances for their dice rolls. That additional 1d4 is such a big boon since it adds like so much more consistency. So you'll see it used for a couple things in the run. And then here, we just jump through the cave. I didn't explain this part during the run, but we jump in a specific path here to avoid all the traps. And here, this is where I lose a little bit of time because my jump ran out. That was primarily due to a bit of bad pathing, so I did lose around 10 or so seconds trying to just walk all the way here. I could have just recasted the jump, but that's pretty much about the same time, so I didn't feel it was worth it. In hindsight, I could have, but it's relatively minor of a difference.
My name is... You can click...
From here, this is just the camp cutscenes, so in some runs, like in any % all axe, we can cast magic missiles to skip these dialogues. We could do it here technically, but we don't have magic missiles equipped. We don't have enough spell slots for it. So it's like, whatever. We do need our level up here, so we'll be using that level up for Fog Cloud, and we can't really just swap out for magic missiles or anything, so it only saves like a couple seconds by skipping some of these cutscenes. And here, just waiting, right-clicking through all these cutscenes and stuff. Pretty standard for Baldur's Gate 3 speedruns to speed through all of these cutscenes. And yeah, just going to level up here for Fog Cloud. Pretty standard. The meta magics actually don't really matter here at this point since we're respecking anyways. But because we chose those specific specs and stuff, it kind of just is what we want to do during the run anyway, so we're just used to it. So it's just kind of a muscle memory thing and just the fastest way to think about stuff. Yeah, you'll be seeing myself move all these spell slots around. That's once again animation canceling. Make my way to Lae'zel here, and then I make sure to have my party disconnected here so they don't follow me. I've had plenty of runs die to forgetting about breaking up my party here, because if you don't do that, Lae'zel or Shadowheart will end up getting in combat, and you can't enter into Act 2 when you're aggroed like that. But that was pretty clean, very nice mountain pass split, saving a bit of time compared to my PB. You can see on the right that my splits are kind of messed up. That's because I was playing on only one monitor compared to two. Normally I have a side monitor to keep track of my splits while I run, and to also split when I normally would, but I wouldn't be able to see if I split correctly or not, so I just played it a bit safe and did it the way I did here. So now here, Shadowheart's making her way down. Pretty much all the same thing. Just right click through this. Going to have Cansiv talk to us and get at least a roll above a 1. Like, if you roll a 1, that's the only time you can fail that roll. So you have also an inspiration point, so you can fail it if you roll 1 in 20 like twice, which is a 1 in 400 chance, and that's happened to me like 2 or 3 times or something, so it's quite wild when it does. There, just use command drop to get the moon lantern to drop. Going to drag the moon lantern into the basket. That causes everyone to leave. And yeah, it's important that we do talk to Karnas there, because if we don't, there will be one hyena that's left over, and that will cause us to fight them. So we want to avoid that since it loses time. There is a couple safety strats as well here. If we need experience, there is a couple points of experience that we might miss out on if we don't do things correctly. So we could kill like the goblin up top there, or kill the hyena that's down here. There's a couple other ways, but we do need to make sure that we have enough levels to get, or experience to get level 3. Otherwise we can't progress with the run, and that had happened to me a couple times during practice, which was unfortunate. Here I'm taking a jumping path. It's not optimal. I haven't really optimized this route really to get like the best jumping path, but I'm just kind of making my way to Moonrise Towers in a way that is comfortable enough for me. So right here you can see I jump to the waypoint.
We're close.
We're going to jump
I can feel
to
it.
the next road to Baldur's Gate
absolute.
waypoint.
Its power is strong.
My spells run out here, so I just recast them. And yeah. My previous run, I had Lae'zel not walk to Last Light Inn, so that was quite rough. That was one of the points that I did reset on in practice. So I'm glad that I didn't
This place is
have that
protected.
not work out
You
here.
might find allies here.
And now you
Or
see
at
that
least
line of
supplies.
dialogue. Once that happens, I click away and switch over to Lae'zel. I didn't do it fast enough here, but it skips this extra black screen that I had here. You'll see me transition back to my Tav, or Dark Urge, and then I switch back to Lae'zel here, which costed a few extra seconds.
Efficient path.
But here we go ahead, grab the invisibility potion before switching back over. And you'll notice that my Dark Urge moved a bit further. That's because I pre-clicked ahead of time further in to just have my Dirge walk a bit more forwards here to save a bit more time. Switch back to Lae'zel here to go grab the chest, or at least get closer. Same thing that I did with my Dirge there. And now here, just sneak by Raphael. Skips the cutscene. And yeah, just small puzzle. Pretty much all the same. We jump over the coffin, jump to this left button, then the right button, and then the button all the way at the front of the room. It's pretty much standard for runs, so not much goes on here. You can bonk onto the door while it's opening, so you'll sometimes see me and other runners like path through the door while it's opening. So for instance right here, you can see I open the door and then I start walking. That is so I don't bonk on the door, which is very easy for it to have happen. Now you can get a very precise jump to hit this thing to release the trap, basically. It's pretty precise though. You just need to stand at a certain position and you can literally just jump through glitchless wise, but it can be kind of weird. My jump was kind of buggy there, so that lost me a bit of time. Casted Minor Illusion, jumped past all these enemies, because their AI gets bugged when we cast it. Jump past here. I tried to make sure I get the waypoint. I've had runs where I didn't get it, but it only costs a few seconds because you just jump back the way we came. And now here, this is where we level up for Knock. So you'll see me select Knock. It doesn't matter what magic or meta magic we choose, but Subtle Spell is what we normally do for runs. And then we skip the level ups for the other characters as well. So from here, we just jump to this chest, pick up the 2 chests on the left, and then equip the Callous Glow Ring. That's very important later on. So from here, we're just going to make our way to the door. Just cast Enhanced Featherfall to make our way that way. It's to the east direction. On console, you can't do this jump, I believe, that I do right here. But if you solve one of the orb puzzles, literally just go down one of the halls, solve one of the orb puzzles, like one of the maze ones, for instance, and you basically get the only orb that you need to just take the ride down, and that's all you really need to do. So it's not controller specific or anything to like do this run. You can do it on controller, and I might try doing it in the future. But yeah, we cast Knock, open the door, get the waypoint, and now we're doing the shopping sequence. From here, that first set of smoke powder bombs is bugged, so it's important that we do buy them and give them to a different character. You'll notice that I do click and drag most items. I personally like clicking and dragging instead of control clicking to select multiple, because if you control click to select multiple, sometimes you like bug out your clicks or something and make a mistake, and then you have to reselect all of them. So it's a lot more intuitive to just click and drag and drop like very quickly. So now here, this is just a level up sequence. We're just leveling up and then resetting the vendor's inventory, so Tally here. And yeah, just buy the bombs, they'll level up, and repeat. And this will happen quite a bit here. So we're just trying to get the 18 bombs that are required. The bomb drops in the shop are ranging between 0 to 4 bombs, I want to say. Except 0 and 4 are pretty rare. Normally you almost guarantee get between 1 to 3. And we normally have enough level ups to get it with an extra 1 to spare most of the time. So yeah, it's normally not too big of a deal. So now here we go to camp because we've exhausted all our level ups here. And we're just going to respec both Lae'zel and our Dark Urge. Lae'zel's going to be a sorcerer, basically copying the exact same build that we do for our TAF. The cantrips here are not necessary, but because I'm so used to doing it with my Dirge, I just do the same exact thing with Lae'zel just to make sure that nothing's really broken or anything. Right here, same thing. I just double check to make sure, but when you respec, you'll have the exact same stats and everything. You'll just be put at level 1 when you do, if you do it with the same. Now here we choose the Zenith Purcell here for our hireling. That's because we don't have to select any extra options since he's a cleric. Saves a couple seconds compared to like selecting extra things as a fighter. And here we also sell his items too, since they're pretty useful for gold. We want to make sure we have enough gold for other parts of the run. I don't think it's completely necessary, but it's good for safety. And I do think we do want to have enough gold for Jaheira revival and stuff from Withers later on. And in case if anything bad happens during our section, we can like make an emergency change, but we also want to make sure we have 100 at least at the end for an emergency respec here. And here, Lae'zel, we have to make sure that we select the correct dialogue. If we don't, Lae'zel will leave the party, and that will effectively kill the run. So I believe we have to just say that Lae'zel, we can't make it to the creche anymore, but this is more important, and that does make sense here. So here, same thing. Oh, I misclicked on Lae'zel here, so that's a bit of time loss. I just wanted to make sure I selected the right one there. There's also a bug which makes the shop, like the vendor's inventory for instance, close on top of you. I believe it has to do with dialogue scripts ending while you're shopping, but I'm not sure. And here, it's very, very important that I switch out spells from Fog Cloud to Misty Step for both our characters. I've had a couple runs where I did select Misty Step, but didn't click Confirm, and instead clicked Accept on the bottom, which cancels switching the spells out, which kind of kills the run, since you have to just go back, respec with Withers again, lose another minute, couple minutes. So here I got all the bombs I needed, so I dismiss all the party members. And this is so I can get Lae'zel all the way up top here, instead of having to like have her also fly up with our Dirge to the top of Moonrise Towers. And for here, we also don't want Shadowheart to come with us, because if she does, she'll get extra cutscenes with Balthazar and the Night Song, and we don't want that to happen, so we just proceed without her and have her leave the party. So here, this is also a very crucial part. We want to make sure that we don't select the wrong dialogue with Balthazar here, otherwise he'll attack us, get a big fight. So here, notice that I have my spell menu up. That's because I was a little bit paranoid about what spell I just removed by accident by clicking on the taskbar trying to drag and remove it, but it's pretty much a non-issue. This shouldn't happen during the run, so I'm just trying to do it mid-run here. didn't matter, but I like just making sure that everything's correct. Otherwise, if you forget something, it might just bite you back in the future. So yeah, I just put the spell back, jumping down to Balthazar and the Night Song, and we're going to select option 2 for both of them, I believe. And that's going to let us have the Night Song get taken, Shadowheart's going to leave the party, and we're able to just go to Moonrise Towers now. So from here, we have this one short dialogue here with this guard here. Just want to skip by it as soon as possible. And here, we run out of Enhanced Sleep. That's normally where we run out. And then we're going to just jump on top. I nearly, like, started combat there, I believe, by head jumping on that guy, but luckily it didn't do damage. Otherwise, you could just start a fight, which could end the run there as well. And from there, I casted Featherfall just to get the buff to have the fly option. That's like Storm Sorcery specific. So we have that. Casting Featherfall is the fastest spell. And yeah, we ignore the Parasite by pressing option 3. And we go back to the camp to recruit Lae'zel so we are able to do the Ketheric fight with her. And because she's invisible for that sequence, it really helps with freeing the Night Song and giving us additional actions. In the past we did like all sorts of alternative things, but this is like one of the most unique ways to enter into the Ketheric fight in a run. And yeah, this was very cool. In previous runs we would use characters like Gale to do AoE damage, like way in the past, and take like an hour for the fight sequence, but that was before we figured out like how to solve the issue with bombs exploding when they're not supposed to. And that is because the first set of bombs that you buy from a shop are bugged, so we just don't use them. We buy them and we just have to place them away. Now here I used a subtle spell Misty Step for both Lae'zel and our Dark Urge. That lets us go past all of these enemies here, because the pods that we're in are silence pods. Basically, you're not able to cast any spells or do anything, and if you break out of them normally, like with attacks, you'll just start combat, and yeah, it's rough when you have Balthazar and like a ton of his henchmen there. So now here I'm just making my way to this Tadpole Center to purge the pods with this neural apparatus here. And that gives us enough XP for a level up, and that level up is for Alert specifically. The other stuff is nice, but Alert is crucial, so we are able to go first during the run. And there you saw Lae'zel's already on the platform because I pre-pathed her there as well, and that just saves a bit of time. And I also made the neural apparatus go down for this platform here, so I can do this level up while we're waiting for it to go down. Generally the level ups would be a little bit faster, but yeah. Once again, you see I choose the same cantrip spells just for consistency's sake. And we're just going to go ahead, jump. I start opening my spell slots a bit because we will have a lot of spells in our hotbar, and just want to make sure we have all the options that we need available. So from here, just getting ready for the Ketheric fight. And yeah, we just jump up to the top platform with our Dirge, and we're going to cast Invisibility and Featherfall here. It's important to cast Featherfall because you can take splatter damage on this first jump and you get seen. Normally it's a non-issue since you still do have an action after jumping here. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and throw these bombs really quickly, defeat Ketheric and Merkel with 1 speed potion and 18 smoke powder bombs. So just place them on the ground, drink the speed potion, and throw the bomb at the ground, specifically next to Ketheric. If you throw them not at the ground, but on Ketheric, it doesn't do the splash damage properly. So that is very, very important. And we're also on the top platform, and we have the Callous Glow Ring equipped. And all of that causes us to do an additional, like, 4 times damage, which is very, very important to be able to kill these guys. So here we just go through this cutscene. You'll notice I did get Lae'zel to come back with me by having her join the party again with the, or group the party again. That makes it so we're able to just go out of there as fast as possible. We recruit Jaheira here, and yeah, very quickly try to fast travel while we're stunned here. I tried to fast travel here. This was a suggestion by Bisque with like a different character that's not stunned, but apparently it just doesn't bring the entire party over properly. So I just had to bring my Dirge manually over as well. So here we end the day. That is so Withers is next to Jaheira, and that saves a bit of time. In the past, we used to like go to Act 2 or Act 3, like enter the next area and then just have Jaheira jump, but it turns out by long resting we save a lot of time by skipping all that extra jumping, which is very useful. Unfortunately, because we are long resting, we are going to get an extra cutscene, but that's pretty minor. And yeah, we're just switching out some spells here. We get Enhanced Sleep Featherfall, we get Ability Improvement, Alert, and Athlete for max strength. And it's very important to have this 20 strength here in order to do stuff. Spells from here don't really matter, excluding the invisibility, which is super important for a couple sections. I'm going to auto long rest here. Have this Dark Urge cutscene. And then we just head on into Act 3. Yeah, so in case I didn't note earlier, Bisque, who's the record holder for basically every Baldur's Gate 3 category, was sitting behind me during this run, so it was very nice for him to watch my run while doing this. It was pretty cool of him. Really helped out with a lot of the small things that I didn't realize, and it was pretty nice to have him on my couch. So big shout outs to him. And yeah, we're just going into Act 3 here. There's this intermission gift fight, and from what I remembered, this fight didn't really go that well. I could save an additional minute here if I had good, like, better RNG. This was okay enough though. So here, just switch over to Jaheira. Jaheira's going to just jump all the way to the portal. You'll notice that I can't do anything for a bit here. I'm not sure why that happens, but it has been happening on current patch, where one of your characters just doesn't have the ability to cast spells for a little while.
Help me. I'm under attack.
Yes.
But yeah, it's relatively a non-issue. We just wait it out. Now from here, we just have Jaheira and our Dirge here make our way forwards. So, I'm going to just jump down. We already have Void Bulbs, which are pretty useful for getting one of these enemies down. There's 4 gift that we do need to kill. And I just line up before that purple brain, or yeah, the brain that's dead on the floor. So I just give all the items that I need to set up to Jaheira, Speed Potion, Amulet. I cast all the spells necessary. I didn't need to cast the Enhanced Sleep Featherfall here, but I'm used to doing it for the Orin fight, so it's basically all the same setup for Orin, but here we also do Speed Potion and Dash. That lets us get more distance for Jaheira and more actions, since we don't use an action on drinking the potion. So our Dirge here is going to throw the Void Bulb to hopefully get the guy down on the floor. That saves us from having to do an extra jump action, since he's already on the ground. And since we're all buffed up, we are able to throw these enemies a lot further. You could do an animation cancel with, like, what is it, improvised melee weapon, instead of doing an extra throw, but that is considered a glitch by the community, so I don't do it. So here, I didn't have all my actions, unfortunately, so I just resorted to throwing whatever I could here. I believe I have this last throw that barely worked here, and that causes me to have to take one extra turn for this last guy up top. So that one gift is going to kill one of the brains, so this from this point on is a bit of time loss for however long it takes these guys to do their actions. The Emperor is going to do his thing as chain lightning, that's like whatever. And it's going to cause some more time. We switch to Lae'zel here since it was her turn. I throw the Void Bulb to try to get the guy closer. I want to say it did help a little bit, so that was pretty useful. I think this said that I should do that, so that was very helpful. And yeah, I was able to throw the guy off this turn, I believe. Took me like a couple extra throws, but it was successful. So just barely had enough distance to throw it perfectly off the edge. And yeah, that was very clutch. Lost around a minute, as I said before there, but you know, it's clean enough for a run like this, and you can see I'm losing time here. So, unfortunate. Saved a bit of time to my splits here, but yeah, I am losing time to my gold splits. So here I choose not to become an Illithid. That's because if you do get part Illithid powers, you gain the flight ability, and it replaces your jump. And since jumping is faster than flying in the game, especially with Enhanced Leap Featherfall, we don't want to have that fly action equipped with us, since fly, levitate, etc. are just super slow. Like, they take a long time for their animation. It's a bit faster than walking or running, but yeah, for sure it is way better to just have Enhanced Leap jumps. So from here, this run is pretty solid. We're going to do Enhanced Leap Featherfall with Jaheira. Jaheira's just going to make her way down. Pretty standard. Run was going by pretty smoothly from here, and I was just making sure I completed a run successfully. So played it a little bit safer at the end. But yeah. Here, I just recasted Enhanced Sleep just in case. I didn't need to do that, but I do think it might be beneficial just because having that extra jump at the end might save a little bit of time. And I cast Invisibility pretty late there. That's because I want to make sure that I don't get seen by these guards, so it saves a little bit of time here from skipping like a couple cutscenes that we'll eventually have to return to, but I just think it's better this way around. So here we get the cutscene with the dirge stuff as we enter into the keep. That's from like one of the triggers down below. I walk in to get the waypoint for Worm's Rock, and then I just jump, and as you can see, this is where it would run out, like the Enhanced Leap, so just having it here does help a little bit. Otherwise your jumps are like half the distance without it, so probably is a good idea for me to keep doing that in runs. Or a Glitchless, but yeah, you just enter into the lower city here. Switch over to our dirge this time because I believe Jaheira could probably do all of this, but I think Jaheira has different interactions with like stuff that's going on. Plus, the dirge is able to open the door at the end for the Temple of Baal, which is very important since Jaheira can't do that. So it just gives us a bit more speed overall. So even though Jaheira would have an easier time making all these jumps since she does have more strength than our dirge at like 20 compared to 18. But yeah. Jump down. We jump through the rooftops. That's pretty standard nowadays. Before we had different jumping paths. Kind of missed path there weirdly because it didn't like walk through the doors properly. That was kind of interesting. And here we just sell the armor, and then we get all the fireworks, the firebomb, and the gold, so we click balance offer. We just want to make sure we have enough gold for Jaheira, which is 200. And now I jump this way. If we're doing like previous patches of the game, we don't need to do this route. This route loses a couple minutes compared to what runners normally run on, which is patch 5 for honor mode runs, because it skips having to get these extra invisibility potions that we do get during the run. And that's because of the interaction with invisibility at the brainstem at the end is just completely different. It's like broken in the current patch. And I'm not sure whether it's a meaningful like reason for it or accidental. But yeah, it does seem like Lyrian has patched a couple bugs and stuff. But as always, speedrunners find ways around things. So even if glitches and stuff get patched, it's no like real harm to the community. It can be kind of annoying because you might be used to doing certain things for a run, but in the end, speedrunners will find a way to speedrun the game one way or the other. It's just that sometimes it might not be as fun to speedrun because they might patch a glitch that is fun, or they might add a glitch that is like more beneficial, and it just depends. And when things change, it just means that we have to adapt, and speedrunners are very good at adapting in general. So here we just get the cutscene with Yenna, who transforms back into Orin. Going to use the fire bolt on the corpse, which opens the door. Yeah, otherwise, like, you can just do other puzzles and stuff, but, you know, that doesn't really matter in a speedrun sense. Cast all 3 spells, Enhanced Sleep, Featherfall, Invisibility, because of all these enemies in this area. And yeah, we really don't want to deal with these enemies, so it's very important to have invisibility here to get through. Now we just jump down to the bottom here, get the waypoint, and open the door. And here, this is where, like, we're going to get ready to kill Orin. And there's quite a lot that goes behind the scenes here as well. From calculations that people in the community have made, I believe Delph was a major contributor to it, but calculating how likely it is to throw Orin off the edge, I think it's a 3 in 20 by with all the stuff that we have. So we have like 20 strength with athlete, we have enlarge, which gives us advantage, we have guidance, which gives us an additional 1d4, and all of that is able to get a 3 in 20 roll on Jaheira for all the throw actions. I believe it's the same with all the Githyanki too, is a 3 in 20. Basically, it's a 3 in 20 to fail the roll. There's ways to be able to do this as well, where we do this throw. Also, it is a pretty precise throw, and if you have more strength, you can basically guarantee it. I think console runners were having an issue with it. So yeah, just keep in mind you can use like an elixir of giant strength to increase it and make it a lot easier to do it. And here I pick up the pommel as well for the netherstone. I forgot to do that during my GDQ run, which is why it died, unfortunately, since Gortash got angry at us, and that costed me to have to make a backup save, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so I resurrect Jaheira here as well, and attack him to skip that animation here too. And I guess I should also explain again, like the 3 in 20 is with one throw. I believe there's ways to cheese it where you can make it almost guaranteed by one, if you fail the throw, you should be able to have a second chance with Jaheira. if you do it properly, like you switch on turn-based mode at the correct time and then try the throw again. And I think you can get another 2 if you recruit Minthara as well, since Minthara will also have the abilities to do all the strength throws and everything if you do it correctly. So effectively you could fail like 4 3 of 20s, but yeah, we just do 1 since it's a lot faster, and if we fail it, it's pretty much just a reset and go next, but you know, it's how it is sometimes. So from here, we just enhance sleep and jump back to Gortash here. Since we skipped Gortash earlier, we're now just recruiting him here. Yeah. And this is also very important. If I choose the wrong dialogue here, it'll start a big fight sequence as well. Pretty much the same as Balthazar, we choose option 2 here. It's like half less traveled options for all of these things, which skip fights and stuff. So we basically refuse to give him the nether stones and say, let's do it together. And yeah, we just head to the morphic pools from here. And yeah, from this point, we use Jaheira. You could use the Dirge to go through this section as well to the boats, but Jaheira is a bit faster and has the longer jumping distance, so we're able to make a couple of these longer jumps as well. In fact, Jaheira is the only one that can do these big jumps towards the end here, which is crucial.
Do what must be done.
So, yeah, make sure Jaheira does have enough strength, which is 20 with Athlete and Enhanced Sleep.
By your command.
And now here, this is a pretty precise jumping path. We just jump on the stairs onto that upper platform, and then we jump all the way to the other side. Our Dirge wouldn't be able to make that last jump right there. Same thing here, our Dirge wouldn't be able to make the jump to this dock here and all the way to the other side. Otherwise you can basically do a side path instead, but it's a bit slow, it's whatever. You'll notice that my splits on the right might look like really good, at least for this last split, but that's because it's split a bit early. This is normally where the Baldur's Gate split would be, but yeah. So it's going to lose time at the end, but I am effectively saving a lot of time here. Now here I just jump all the way to the right. You can do that, that's not a glitch. It's just a pretty precise jump that you do from far enough away. Here I kind of messed up my positioning. You want to make sure you're far enough, like in the correct direction. I think I was just way too far back. I need to be more to the right. And you want to jump all the way to that torch. If you don't jump far enough, you'll get aggro to the brains. They won't really do anything, but you just need to walk far enough away from them in order to skip combat. From here, we're just jumping forward to Jaheira. Technically, we could skip this cutscene here with a dead party member. So if one party member is dead here, this entire Netherbrain cutscene can be skipped. It's done in any % all act runs with someone like Shadowheart. But here we kind of just want to bring Lae'zel with us to the end sequence, so we don't do it. And none of these dice rolls really matter here. Sure, we could take off like 150 health from the Netherbrain or something, 100 health. I'm not sure what the exact buff is, but if you roll and successfully pass, I think all 4 of these, if not the last one at least, you'll be able to subtract 100 health from it. But we have enough damage that it doesn't matter here at this point. From here, we just make sure that our Dirge is the one that's making our way down. I nearly stomped on the Emperor there, which is very scary. If you do that and he gets aggroed, you'll game over, since, yeah, he doesn't like it when you attack him. And the reason why we do attack him here is so he doesn't join our party, which is very important. Since if he does join our party, it's another character that we need to have on our team. Join us at, like, at the end fight and everything. But yeah, we also want to make sure we are an illithid here, otherwise we will game over if we don't have a party member that is illithid, which is very crucial, since only an illithid can open the portal to the Netherbrain.
already begun.
From here we have Lae'zel die, just for being able to exit out of the cutscene by selecting a character that is dead. And that's effectively the same thing as having a co-op partner do something while you're in a cutscene. So even though it does look glitchy with the invisibility here, or the final part with the Netherbrain, it's pretty much not. It's pretty much like playing co-op. And here, I do make a couple precise jumps here. This jump path is very important because if you are not jumping the right way, you could get seen by enemies with C invisibility, which will pretty much kill your run. So everything, like there's so many run killers in this run that it's so important to just be active on literally every small thing. If you make any one mistake, it's dead. So that's why this run is very difficult and kind of underappreciated sometimes. Especially with no quick saves or anything. So from here, we drop down the invisibility potions, and this is pretty much for getting invisibility at the end. Before, you could literally just cast the invisibility spell, but now things change, so we just cast Mage Hand next to us. And hopefully, when we throw the invisibility potions here, they do make us invisible. Sometimes they don't. I accidentally swapped back to my Dirge there. That did make me a bit scared since we are on the timer from the first Mage Hand cast to get everything invisible. So from here, we just throw the Potion of Invisibility on both our Dirge and Mage Hand. That's very important because if any one thing is visible here, we will not be able to skip the combat sequence at the start here. So from here, we're just going to cruise to the end. We open the portal with our Dirge. So we're just going to walk on over. We could jump. I forgot to cast Enhanced Sleep here to just have our characters both jump to the end here. And generally you want our Dirge to be the one up front here, since I believe here I do select my Dirge and then Jaheira just paths down, but it doesn't really matter. Let's cast a spell, and since all the enemies are surprised, it effectively skips their turn, so we're able to enter through the portal turn 1 here. And we enter with both our Dirge and Jaheira. Jaheira's going to make her way in. And we're going to cast the Fierce Perilous Stakes here on Jaheira for additional damage with the firebomb that is thrown, which will also amplify the damage done by the fireworks that explode as well, I believe. So that's what we do here. We just go down with our Dirge, we put all the bombs or fireworks down next to us, and then have Jaheira throw it at the ground. And that's the end of the run.
What about this?
So yeah, overall the run was pretty nice, successful. There was a bit of time loss. I could see this go under 40 minutes with very, very, very clean play, but it is a very, very difficult run. And there's a lot of RNG with speed potions and grinding out stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you all enjoyed watching the run. Once again, if you like it, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos, probably some more Baldur's Gate 3 content. I will be running at ESA next week, so be sure to check that out. And yeah,